Welcome, everyone. This is Pound Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week, I am joined by Cinders
Hello.
and Krister.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. And this week, the news is, well, pretty much non existent because Standing Stone Games is taking their traditional end of year break. Though, we do have a reminder that Seven Chord are going to be discussing in a stream on Friday, January 10th, about the new servers and everything we need to know about them, or I hope they'll have everything we need to know about them by then, assuming that all goes down and they're all ready to announce whatever is going on. But outside of that, nothing really new going on in the game that I know of. Any of you remember anything happening this week?
No, I figured no news is good news, right? But you did have a little bit of news.
The only thing I've seen is the reminder that the downtimes will be on off days, but I think that might have been
that's right.
a kin specific announcement as opposed to an official announcement.
Yeah, there was you're right. We did have the announcement there is that the next downtime will be on Thursday, January 2nd, not on the usual Wednesday because no one's going to be in on Wednesday in order to do anything on there. So that's the next time that the servers are expected to be down. If the servers go down for another reason, despite that, someone's going to have a bad day. So that's it for the news for this week. But let's go around the store sales. I believe the store sales were going to sound strangely familiar, right? Right, Cinders?
Yes. So they sound almost identical. There are a little bit of changes, though. So the Whimsical Patrons Coffer is still back through the 2nd on the LOTRO store. That will let you go skipping through Middle Earth if you choose to use that walk style. Super cute on Hobbits. Then double bonus points is still here, also through January 2nd, so you get twice the bonus points of the LOTRO store. Go ever on and on, get 20% off of select XP boosts, enhanced XP supply, and 100% mark acquisition boost. So if you've been wondering when is a good time to do all of your skirmishing, I recommend getting some of those and doing them now. The final week of December deals has arrived. So through January 2nd, you can get 75% off the stat tomes and bundles, 50% off Fate of Gundabad, and 35% off of the Corsairs of Umbar quest packs. And then the weekly coupon is for a free Crimson die. And the coupon code is Yuleberryred. Yuleberryred. No spaces. Also through January 2nd.
Yuleberryred. Sort of like a hollyberry, I guess?
I think that's the idea, yes.
Yeah. All right. Then let us go into what we have for us, because we have our year in review. That's right. It is time for us to take a look at what happened at 2024 and see how close Standing Stone Games was to their plans. And we know that based on the letter that we read last week, the Standing Stone Games is of the opinion that anything that they say more than 6 months in advance needs to go out the window. So based on that, we're probably going to be guessing that the first 2 quarters from last year are probably going to be pretty close to what they wrote, and that the summer and autumn, well, changes have been made. Let's just say that. Let's have a look then. Now, this is what they promised for the first quarter for last year. The first one was 2 3-player instances, a 6-player instance, a raid, Chapter 8 of the Epic, Delvings for the Elder Slave missions, and Epic Malices. And that was pretty much what they delivered on the first quarter, right?
I don't know if they did it first quarter, but they definitely did that this last year.
that was pretty much that sounds like because I was going through the release notes in here and update 39 and they had the streets of Rahalbach, which is the finisher up of the Vile series.
Bile.
Yes. Then
Always
we had
amusing.
yes. Then we had the Isle of Storms.
Ugh. Tried to wipe that one from my mind. Are we sure that wasn't really supposed to be Isle of Forgetting? Because I think it was misnamed.
The Isle of Oh, you tried to forget that one?
I keep trying to forget that one. You'll notice I don't keep reminding you about any of those.
Yeah. Well, the Isle of Storms. But the last time I ran Isle of Storms, it went all right. That was when we were doing the 3-player versions, and it looks like we actually had a group that was right for it. But you're right. Most of my attempts at the Isle of Storms were an attempt at futility.
Yeah. So I think we tried the 2-person version, right?
Yeah, we did try that one.
That went badly.
Yeah, that crocodile. And the rest of the bosses weren't exactly great fun either. But
I did successfully complete it on M in a 2-player. I did it with Namflonius.
Okay.
2 guardians. We survived. It just took a lot longer than it was supposed to.
Right. So yeah, we had the Isle of Storms. Then we had the arena, which
I have not done yet.
Yeah, I've done it solo. I think solo is the only way I ever finished that one. And I'm not sure if I've managed to finish it on anyone other than my lore master. But anyway, yeah, the arena is also tough. The 6-player version was brutal.
No,
and then of course,
suggest for Friday night fights.
What, the arena?
Mm-hmm.
I just say that any attempts done in by Friday night fights to do the arena ended in
success.
Well, no, let us just say it came out about the same as what happened this week.
Oh, so what you're telling me is that they needed M.
Well, actually, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe with M we could actually get through. That's an interesting question. I guess we could find out.
Yeah, I'm gonna say because there have been a few things where you guys have been like trying them, and then M showed up, and you guys were like, "Huh, yay, Guardian!"
Okay, that's something that we could consider. Though, if we do have a group, if I'm ever asked to select something the next time on there, and we have 6, I'm most likely going to try the Well of Forgetting because I haven't seen the 6-player version of that one yet.
Okay.
Or if I hadn't, it could be I forgot.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let's hope we have a balanced group.
Yep.
What if you forget completely and start the Isle of Storms?
Fortunately, you can't do that when you have 6 players.
Oh, they'll find a way.
You can if also, you make 2 groups of 3. Yes. Sorry, also, not helping.
Yeah. Also, they did help with they did add the Elder Slade delvings then. And of course, did all sorts of class changes and usual stuff that they have during updates.
Boo.
Oh well.
5% of nothing is still nothing. That's my only consolation.
So yes, they delivered pretty much what the pros were first, because probably they wrote the letter they were already deep in development for what was happening in the first quarter. So yeah, that was easy to predict. So then for spring second quarter, they said a spring festival. Okay, no huge shock on that one. The 17th anniversary, no shock on that one. The epic continues, and the content pack, The Catacombs of Umbar, at least that's what they're calling it then.
Umbar
Yeah. What do they call it now?
They called it, well, when they released it, they called it Umbar Mok Beneath the Surface was the name of the update. I have a feeling that the Catacombs was just a code name for, or a working title for it. So yeah, it was definitely underground and included all sorts of areas in there, including beneath the Darlaja in there, and we started doing extra quests for the various members of the Kindred of the Coin in the weeks that followed. So they had a new episodic series that opened up on there. So over the course of 8 weeks, they opened up a new set of quests going out through there. So that was an interesting thing to take us through the summertime. Oh, Krister, did you ever get through that content?
I went into that content.
Yeah?
But I never came out.
He got
never
lost
came out
in the catacombs.
Lost in the catacombs. Oh, poor
of
Krister.
Umbar.
Oh, that could be like a horror movie where adventurers go back to find him and he's like, oh. Maybe by that sound, I mean he was probably just sick. But
yeah. But anyway, they had all sorts of areas beneath there because they had the cellars, the wells, the vaults, the crypts, and the burts.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything in there. And some tweaks to crafting. And I think they finally started to work on getting some instruments for the mariners.
Wait, let's see. What don't they have the little accordion thing at this point?
No, they don't have concertinas for
they
mariners.
Should.
They just have flutes and fiddles.
Wait, a mariner with a flute?
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out where I've seen that before. Probably never. Violin. I can see a
probably
with
some
violin.
Variant of Peter Pan.
Maybe they do have flutes. You know, maybe fluting is. I mean, recorders had to come from somewhere, right? So.
Yeah. Well, anything that you could tuck away and stow easily that wouldn't take up much space, I would think would be a viable option.
Yeah, most likely it would be something. You'd want a musical instrument that would be good at sea and easily stowed away. Those are the two prime things.
A jug, because then it could hold your alcohol too.
Yeah, and I say, yeah, because I think reed instruments could be a bit of a problem.
Well, yeah, you reed chips, you can't replace it.
Yeah, so I was
that would be wonderful, though. This this merchantman is sailing in the waters. You know, it's foggy or something, and in the distance they hear all these saxophones playing. Oh no!
They'd be like, "How close to land am I?"
Oh no, that'd be the identifier of those particular pirates. You know, I hear tubas. Oh no, run!
It's the musical pirates.
Yeah, before they had high school marching bands, the high school marching bands originated in piracy.
From pirate parades.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, since they have license to kind of explore these worlds that haven't really been defined. That could be something that happens, right? Like,
pirate parades.
Well, and then and then the pirates have a bunch of marching bands on ships.
They go loot the villages along the shore for any musical instruments they can find. The more obnoxious, the better. Somebody has a little thing of bagpipes.
As they're leaving, they go wah wah.
Oh, yeah. The summer update was when captains could now have hobbit heralds, and lore masters could now have small bog lurker herald uh, pets, so that your hobbit captains and lore masters won't be going around with these.
I,
uh,
you know what? Are
yeah,
you telling me that there might be a Hobbit Oathbreaker up there somewhere?
I don't think they have hobbit oathbreakers
Oh,
though.
But you could have a
oh,
mini
that'd be
M
cool.
chase you around all the time.
I like the concept of having like a little Hobbit Oathbreaker. But maybe that's what hobbits don't break their oaths. Maybe
It's the
that's the whole
ghost
thing
of
about
M. Sorry.
The ghost of M. All right.
Krister gets so frustrated he murders her, and then she just follows him around forever as a ghost.
Well, then I'd find a way to bring you back to life.
Be one of the whites. Ooh.
Between 9 and 11 is Krister time.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Now, let's see what they had for the summer. This is where things start to fall off a little bit on what they were having in there, because for the summer update, they were thinking of, okay, first of all, the Midsummer Festival, which of course did happen. I don't think any changes were. In fact, I think during the Summer Festival, they were saying that in 2025, they're planning on making some festival changes.
What?
Well, when they were doing because I don't think they had anything new for last year's summer festival, so I think they were saying that there were no changes for the summer festival in 2024, but they were thinking that they were going to have some festival changes starting around the summer 2025 festival. Though I have no idea if that planning is still on, because that was something that was mentioned, back last summer. So you take anything said back then with a grain of salt now, since that was not in the latest letter.
Yes, well, I hear that, and I'm like, man, the last time they changed them, they added all of the skirmishes.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I can't remember, or if there was anything that they were specifically thinking of doing for next year. I guess we'll find
No.
out. In any case,
Something that I think would be cool. Sorry, Pine Leaf. If they're going to make a change, so
yeah.
how Harvest Math has that second area added, I wouldn't be opposed to having that area be opened up for more festivals and activities, as opposed to, like, I would rather see them add than see them change. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay.
I'll quit interrupting.
Well, we'll see what they have there, but right now there's a possibility, because the Midsummer Festival, of course, we did have the Midsummer Festival last year, but I don't think there are any changes for that. Then the other thing they announced for third quarter was the additional hobby, which came through as birding.
Tweet.
Fourth profession added. I think you've been taking advantage of that one.
I have been. I love it. Em can craft everything except her cloaks for herself now.
Yes.
And scrolls and tokens.
And for the
or scrolls. Okay.
And for the second consecutive year, they said, we are going to have a further adventures in the summer update.
And they didn't.
Right.
Well, maybe they did. They just didn't translate that into the game.
Yes, they may have been further adventures, but that did not come into the game. The Monster Play update, which I think they did have some Monster Play updates, not as much as they wanted, but I think they did have some. Unfortunately, I can't remember what they were, since I don't do Monster Play.
They were not changes to wargs. That much I know.
Okay. Oh, that's right. They added that new mode where you're seeking glory seekers.
Yes. Which I guess could affect wargs, but I did not decide to be a glory seeker. So.
Right. So that's the biggest change I remember, was, of course, the glory seeking. Then the elf avatar refresh, which I believe came instead in the autumn. So that got pushed back a little bit. And in fact, I think they're still having some tweaks they're doing to the elf update that are supposed to be coming in this January's update. So they haven't finished all the elf avatar updates yet. And they have not updated the high elves yet, though they didn't promise that in the original thing in any case, because they want to make sure they have the elves right before they tweak the high elves. Then they said class updates and then VIP updates. And I know that VIP updates most definitely did not happen. So update 41 was called On the Wing, which tells you, yeah, that was the whole thing about adding the birding thing. And that's what they added the hardtack crafting event also. Yeah, I completely forgot about that thing. I don't know if you guys actually ever did anything with the
I didn't
hardtack.
do. No, I didn't.
Yeah,
With the
I keep on
what?
forgetting that thing exists.
With the what?
The hardtack crafting event.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Anything. So, unless I am specifically in that region for whatever the reason, I don't even
Right.
see those kinds of pop ups or alerts. And without them, I don't remember they exist.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Then I'm very rarely in Erdling also. So, yeah, I haven't been doing that any either. So that tells you how much it happened. It wasn't on the original plan, but it is something that happened. Of course, birding arrived. Then they had the lore master updates, and that I guess is what was under the big thing under the class changes that they had promised for that one, were the lore master updates. And I suspect there are a few lore masters complaining, especially the red ones, who says, "Where are my pets?" Because the red lore masters, the pets became temporary things that will come out for a couple of moments, do something, and then go away.
Yeah.
And then there was Monster Play questing and reward track. So those are updates. So yeah, so that was the big change on the Monster Play. Was one, the Monster Play questing and reward track, and the other was, of course, the PvP glory seeking. And then we had lots. Oh, that's right. That's the one where I had to break up the reading of the release notes for the Lore Master over 3 weeks. Just
Yep. Because there
yeah,
were
because of all
so
the stuff that was in
many.
there.
Yep.
Yeah, there was just so much in there.
More like the Boar Master.
Thanks a lot.
Put that in the title ideas.
All right. And so I would say the big thing that would miss in there, because we had the missed on the further adventures and the VIP updates. And the Elf Avatar was postponed. But I'd say that they got the rest of it in there. Though they were hoping to be able to get the crafting so that you could have multiple things in your search at the same time. But
yeah.
Then they got into the code and found out, this is impossible.
This part of Lord of the Rings was programmed with punch cards.
Probably. No, we don't want to change anything that was done by punch cards. Yeah. Then okay, now for the autumn update, which of course was the expansion. What they promised was, of course, the new expansion for 4 new regions, which they did deliver on 4 new regions in there. Because I've quested on my Lore Master has quested through all 4 of those regions in there, so I know that those 4 regions exist, right?
Yes.
There was a new instance. There was a new instance cluster, which yes, the instance cluster was actually released with the expansion, which is a first for I think the last few years, because for the last few years it's been coming in the update afterwards. Now the raid, they didn't quite get it into the 4th quarter. That's not coming out till February, it looks like. So they are going with the tradition of the raid still being the following year on that. So I think they were hoping to get it out in the same year, but yeah, that didn't happen. And of course, the epic continued, and well, Cinders hasn't finished up the epic story for the new area yet.
I
So
have
Final Fantasy not.
not, but I
No,
don't mind
but
spoilers. Fill me in.
no. Oh, we can wait. Besides, this is not the quest pack review. This is the year in review. So I'm not going to go through my entire. So I'm not going to go through my epic story thing yet
Okay.
anyway. But anyway, so yes, it was quite a story that we had into there. I think they had a chapter for each of the four, a chapter for each of the four areas. So there are four chapters in all for the Song of Ways and Wind. And right now we are in the middle of the third chapter, if I remember correctly, where we are currently. And then they're saying that we'll have a kinship refresh.
Uh-oh.
I don't know
I
how I
mean, they're
feel
selling
about
everybody's
that.
skin houses.
Well, that didn't happen at all.
Woo.
This is supposed to be what they were supposed to do with the expansion. Yeah, the kinship refresh did not happen at all. So yes, so I'll say we had the expansion, we had the epic continuing. The kinship updates did not happen in any way whatsoever, and I don't think they were on the projection for the first part of 2025, if I remember correctly. I don't remember that being in the letter in there. So yes, no little refresh on the kinships. Yes, and of course, some people are probably hearing something like that. Would probably be going, "Uh oh," just as Krister was at that moment. You say, "No." Let's see that. Okay. Here's we go back with the letter for next chapter. We go this, and of course, and so update 42 was pretty much all that. We had the Elf update, which was postponed for the summer, and we had the Legacy of Morgoth. They also had the introduction of Baubles, which was the surprise thing that was added to the Legacy of Morgoth. But Baubles. Oh yes, that reminded me something in there is that during this last week, I'll say that for my week in gaming there. But Baubles in there, we were hoping that it'll be able to replace all those items that we had in there, like the fireworks and stuff like that. And unfortunately, if it's ever going to happen, it hasn't happened yet. So we'll have to see. We hope at some point that we could get some baubles that could help us in such matter so that we could get rid of a few of our things that are in our inventory, because believe me, we could use all the help we can get in getting stuff dumped out of it.
I agree. It almost broke me clearing those 30 spaces but I've already filled them up. There's no 30 spaces no more.
I was really excited. I got 5. I have more now, but I had 5 when I started today.
There's so many things that I'll never use that I don't want to throw away.
Right? And I'm not gonna lie, my character's bags kind of mimic my real life situation. Apparently, I am not much of a purger.
My favorite thing ever was, I think it was a year or two ago when I cleared out. I got like 11 spaces cleared. And then I opened up a Hobbit gift and like gave me like 20,000 dwarf candles. It immediately filled my inventory all the way back.
I really think those should be baubles. Should be
Agreed, yeah.
baubles. Absolutely should be baubles.
Now, I'm trying to remember when did they release Veil of the Nine?
I don't
Because
know.
that
I
came
think it
out
was that
sometime
9.
during summer, right?
I thought the
Yeah,
64-bit servers.
yeah. The 64-bit servers, the VIP only 64-bit servers in there with the Veil of the Nine in there. Yeah, you guys, all this reading in there, I don't see where they had that. And of course, there was the little thing for in August for the Year of the Dragon
Mm-hmm.
that
I
they
still
had
wanted a
in there.
dragon mount or a dragon pet. I'd settle for a dragon pet, but a dragon mount would be better.
Dragon mount would be better. Well, unlikely we're going to get flying mounts of any sort.
I didn't say it had to fly.
You know what? You just don't have to deny it all.
We
We
all
have like a
know
glimmer of hope.
that they
Finally.
make dragon kind that don't fly.
Okay, you do have a point there. And in fact, now that I was thinking of it, is in DDO they do have for the Year of the Dragon they had these monthly things that you can get for and one of them was actually a dragon mount.
Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Jealous.
So yeah, so my DDO character could get a dragon mount, but not my LOTRO.
See, if I had my way, I'd get Dragok, and then I'd put a bunch of perches on Dragok so that a bunch of eagles could be mounted on him. And then he would just be like a carrier coming in with his eagle fighters. Give me the ring. I'll drop it off.
Nobody would suspect him either.
Yeah, if Dragok got rid of the One Ring, yeah, that would be. I think that would be a surprise to everybody.
Especially
Frodo
'cause
never
they're
told
hoarders.
anybody. Yeah, I wonder. I don't think I've ever conceived. They've had run through the scenarios of, if Gandalf had gotten the ring or a bunch of other people. I've never thought about what if one of the dragons had gotten the One Ring. You know, would what would have Smug have even realized
Can you
what he
imagine?
had?
Can you imagine if it
Yeah.
got hooked on one of their claws and made them invisible? That would be terrifying.
But we had the one. We had that one raid with the worm we fight at the end that had one of the rings. Not the One Ring, but one of the dwarven rings, right?
Hadn't
his
it
mouth.
eaten it?
I remember that was
Yeah,
really
I think
good.
that's
Yeah.
the usual way in which dragons get rings. Yeah.
They ate it. It was in its stomach. No,
Yeah.
yeah, we did have that raid. That wasn't
Yeah, an invisible
Handbill, that was
dragon.
something else. But an invisible
Dragons are
dragon
terrifying.
is scary,
Yeah, dragons are terrifying enough. Invisible dragon.
right? And then it wouldn't know it was invisible, right?
Well,
It
for
would
a little
just
bit. I'm
know-
sure to figure it out soon.
Well, maybe it will just know that it has a lot easier time catching things to eat.
Well, okay, so I'm willing to be flexible on it. So if they can't give us dragon mounts, maybe they can give us 2 Balrogs pulling a rickshaw.
Ooh, that's a cool idea.
Because that would be a heck of a rickshaw. I mean, that you could mount your kin house on that. Oh, mobile kin house pulled by Balrogs. Oh boy, I think I have my art project for tonight.
Everybody's like, oh no, where did they take this? How do we get back on track?
I'm sure this is in canon too. So
Right. Where in canon, I don't know, but
If anybody needs ideas, Standing Stone Games, we've got you.
that's right.
You
want to go to weird direction? We're here.
If your creativity department is ever struggling, hit us up. All right.
Anyway, as you can see there, it looks like, during the first 2 quarters, it pretty much matched what they were thinking of. And during the second 2 quarters, it started drifting away between what they were hoping for and what they actually delivered, which is why for this year, we had the letter for Orion, where what was given for the third and fourth quarter was rather vague, shall we say. So, in case anyone wants to be reminded what it is, that for the first quarter this year, they want the raid, and I guess maybe Krister is trying to see if he can be ready so that he can be able to do raids when the raid comes out.
Yeah, because I want to participate in the raid, not be fetching the water and mead and everybody for the people that are actually doing the raid.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel right now I'm at servant level as opposed to
Yeah.
participation. So, but yeah, it's just it's intimidating. I think the most intimidating thing I'm thinking of is just diving into my legendaries and really trying to.
Yeah, because I have a feeling that this raid is going to be tougher than last year's, considering that they're the same level. So they're probably going to be assuming, okay, you've had a year to level up those legendary items.
Well, that's what's frustrating. I guess that's the about not beating rating for a bit too, is that it's really easy just to fall behind to a point where you don't feel like you're even ready to go. And so I know I know I can put my nose to the grindstone to do it though. So, right. and my group is very supportive,
which is helpful.
Okay. I know. Sometimes, because last time I was with Ploy, it felt like it was okay. Is that really? Yeah, I just look at their board and say, "This is what I need to do. I'm never going to achieve that. So this is what you need for tier 1. Sorry, I'll never reach that." Anyway, so we have the raid supposedly coming up for the Q1. We have the quality of life update, whatever that means. The new and improved deed log. And some new zones for burning. That's what's promised for first quarter. So I'm going to guess that, like last year on the first quarter, they're going to hit that. Second quarter is going to be the Uniting Shagana update, which maybe we go through the quest pack review, we can make our guesses as what that's about. But right now, I'm not going to go and speculate onto that, since that's going to go into stuff that happens in the latter parts of the storyline.
I'm just bummed Krister hasn't been doing it with us, because I think he would really enjoy this update.
I have no doubt.
Yeah, maybe we could take Cinders, Krister, and one of my other characters through there, and we could go through the content, assuming Krister is available at any point.
Yes. My schedule is kind of a challenge.
Right. And that they're going to have system announcements for the third quarter, whatever that means. I mean, I have no idea what system announcements is for. And of course, fourth quarter is going to be a level cap increase for fourth quarter. All right. And of course, upcoming in the next few weeks is going to be the whole thing in 2 weeks, when they're going to talk about what's coming in for 64-bit servers.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
We'll find out. We'll see whether or not we're saying whoop, 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 whoop after in 2 weeks, right?
Well, okay,
whoop, whoop, or wah, wah.
Yeah, whoop, whoop, or wah, wah. Anyway, that's it for our year in review. I'd say that first half, pretty much of a hit, and so middling on hits for the second half of the year, which is why this year's letter was very vague for the second half. But we expect to get more letters as time goes by. So, with that done, any comments about the year before we head out into our weekend gaming?
Looking forward to 2025.
Okay. Then what did you do for this weekend, 2024, though?
Oh, what did I do this week? Oh,
yeah.
Well, you know what? What I did right now was I was inspired based on our prior conversation, so I have something to sing to you guys. Gandalf got ran over by a Balrog passing through Moria Christmas Eve. Gimli says there's no such thing as Balrog, but he was drunk and really didn't see.
That's great.
So my week was a week of, this was just a weird week. I think you guys can testify to that, you know.
Yeah.
But hung out with the kin, and that's when I started to realize how much work I've got ahead of me. But I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what the new raid's about. It sounds like it might be big and complex, which would be great. Um, and of course, Christmas was a smashing success. I traveled around the globe in my Mustang, spreading Christmas cheer because that's what Christmas does. And then,
Not the rusty Chevrolet then?
well, it's not even coal. It's mainly. You know what I leave? I leave AOL CDs.
Okay.
And then played a little of the Path of Exile 2. And was kind of sick this week and was wheezing a lot and couldn't breathe. But last night I started to breathe again, and today I'm breathing, and breathing is awesome, and I love breathing, and I'm going to spend the rest of my week breathing. Cinders, what were you up to?
So, I started playing Dragon Quest Builders 2 again, this time on my PC, because I don't know where my Switch system is at the moment. Yeah, so I started a whole new world, and I have been building farms and squashing monsters, and I'm enjoying it. And then I did Friday Night Fights with the Mythgard folks, and there was elephant squashing. So we decided to do Ostenhoth Wing 1 with 11 people at 145, because we had some people who were in like 144, 143 with us. And I did notice the absence of doing it. I think the only other time I've done it with Ploy. And Krister as a captain is fantastic to run with. The captain that we had with us was also great, but it would have been really helpful if they'd been on level or higher level. So I was missing the expertise and having worked with Krister in the past on it last night. But it still, we got through to the big room.
You
Saw the room.
Question in the voice.
We got through to the big room and then got stomped by elephants. Which we finally decided with internets crashing and things like that, we probably should just call it quits. And then I continued in the new area with Pinestone today. And I got my dinner suggestion for one of the characters. It was a great one, but my chicken pie was not blackened. So that was my week in gaming this week. How was yours, Pine Leaf?
All right. Well, my warden continued to quest in the second region, where I am in the area where I'm about to head into the elf refuge. So I'm just not quite ready to go in there yet, but I'll be going into there very, very soon, assuming I can find my way into it. And then my mariner is just starting the second region in the expansion. So I'm just reaching it. So I finished the first one, now going into the second one. And an interesting thing is that one time during this week in the Hobbit gifts, I get my Hobbit gift. It's my Yule Hobbit gift in there. And I get a pick-me box for dwarf candles. Now, you may be wondering, why is this a highlight instead of a low light?
Yeah.
Because there's a pick-me box not for dwarf candles that go into your inventory, but for a Bauble version of dwarf candles.
What?
Okay.
And
so apparently they're not very good at converting regular dwarf candles into baubles, but they are capable of adding into Hobbit presents the ability to get bauble bauble type dwarf candles instead of the old type of dwarf candles. I have no idea what's in regular one because that was a Yule Hobbit present that I had there. So I don't know if that's only available in the Yule Hobbit ones or if that's going to go into regular Hobbit ones after the Yule festival is over.
I don't know. I just really want the other ones to convert.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have a feeling it's going to be a bit of a problem because they might not have a way. Because I think they're having trouble in getting consumables to turn into baubles.
I have a solution. If
Yeah.
we can go somewhere and trade our consumables in for the bauble version. So, like, to get a red dwarf candle bauble, you need to bring them 5 red dwarf candles. Problem solved.
Well,
And then you can just sell the rest of them.
maybe they could do that for the quality of life update that's coming up in January.
Yeah, I think that would be a great way to deal with consumables like that. Same
Okay.
thing with fireworks and stuff. Like,
Bingo Boffins.
come in
Bauble
and
Boutique.
trade. Oh, that's a good one.
Bingo Boffins Bauble.
Bilbo's Baubles.
Bilbo's Baubles. Bingo's Baubles.
Bingo and Bilbo's.
Right.
I've said B too much now.
Okay. If you'd like to send us an email, you can send it to podcast@lotrplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have LOTRO Players News and re-record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You can join us for our shows at lotrplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight then. This is Pilot Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.